going live. And I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to give some commentary on what's happening in regards to the Cassie trial. We're going to generally talk about what's happening, what's transpiring. I'm testing something. Not going to get into what I'm testing, but let me go ahead and get into my commentary. Let me do my disclaimer. So, copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. So, allow me to attest it. Yeah, normally I do show a picture, but today let me test something else. So let's get into what's been happening in regards to Cassie. I'll stop it, play it, and give my commentary. So fair use reaction clip.
Have prepared Cassie Ventura for the wrenching and draining and excruciating 2 days that she just spent on the witness stand, testifying against her one-time love, Sean Diddy Combs. But the next 2 days are going to make the last two look like a picnic. She's about to undergo a cross-examination by Puff Daddy's lawyers. And 9 months pregnant or not.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells.
Hold on. I'm wondering if
Sex trafficking and racketeering trial, and the prosecution's star witness and Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, back on the witness stand for cross-examination this morning.
This, of course, after a second day of emotional testimony yesterday, caused the defense to say they're changing their strategy going into today. Fox 5's Lisa Evers has been in the courtroom for much of the testimony, joins us this morning. First of all, before we get going, Lisa, exactly what is the process to get inside the courtroom that you're lined up outside the courthouse today for?
Rowan, Kurt, I can tell you that there has never been a more disorganized system for dealing with the media. There's international media here all over the world, many different countries. Many of the major American stations have multiple teams of crews and also reporters and production assistants. And then there was a process. The marshals have everything under control. The marshals police division, which handles the security inside, they have everything under control. But they weren't deciding who was getting in, who was not getting in. There was no specific credential for this particular trial, as there was, for example, in the R. Kelly case in the Eastern District in Brooklyn. So they're trying their best, but clearly there was not the type of plan that we're used to seeing at criminal court, where they give you a token if you're allowed to go in, and then you can give that token to another person of your crew. So it's been a real challenge. I've been up at 4:30 every morning this week. My production assistant Brendan, Mio, everybody's been trying to use every contact that we have so that we can get in that courtroom. But I have to tell you, yesterday it was something I've never seen before.
Okay, so hopefully you get in smoothly today. What was it about yesterday that made you say, I've never seen this before?
Well, you have on one side, you have Cassie Ventura's husband. Her mother was there. Her mother, who apparently was urging her to write a book as she was learning of this ordeal that her daughter had been going through for more than a decade. Her brother was there. There were other supporters there. Her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, who was the one that filed that initial civil suit that ended up getting $20 million for Cassie and that settlement in November of 2023, he was there with her. So she had a whole row. And then on the other side, Sean Combs' mother was there. His 3 oldest sons were there. The 3 girls who walked out on Tuesday because of the graphic testimony from the male escort, male sex worker, they were not there in court. But when Cassie walked in, every eye in the courtroom turned to her, except for Diddy. He was looking straight ahead like a statue. She walks down the center aisle like a queen. She's about 8.5 months pregnant, which is what is the guesstimate, the best guesstimate, but very visibly pregnant, stunningly gorgeous, in 3 or 4 inch stilettos with a long coat, and just holding her head up high, not looking at anybody, taking the witness stand, and just really controlling the situation in terms of how she wanted to present herself. But I have to tell you, from what we could see Combs from like a 20 or 30 degree angle. He was looking at her the whole time, not moving, not making any real movements that we could see, because we're looking at his back. But it was extremely tense, and of course that tension got ratcheted up by the end of the day when we heard even more shocking revelations, which a lot of people did not expect to see coming.
Okay, so the jury saw some pictures of the freak-off, and also they saw the video of Sean Diddy Combs attacking Cassie. How do you think the defense is going to handle that? Because apparently there's rumor now they're changing strategy.
Well, it'll be interesting, Ro, to see how they are changing strategy, or what strategy they could possibly give. Because and also too, let's point out yesterday that video again, a clip from the hotel beating, and the defense has been from the very beginning two things. They said this is a consensual sexual relationship, a toxic one, admittedly one where there was substance abuse on both sides, and that was one of the revelations that Cassie detailed yesterday. She said she turned to opiates after these freak-offs, hundreds of freak-offs, about one a week, lasting anywhere from 1 to 4 days, where they were high on ecstasy, they were high on coke. it was just this marathon of drugs, no eating, very little food that was available, and that she needed the opiates in order to calm down, in order to, as she put it, numb herself and disassociate herself from this horror that she was going through. But Ro, you're asking about the defense, and the defense has said, okay, this is domestic abuse. Mr. Combs apologized on it, on his Instagram that was taken down for this, acknowledged the beating, acknowledged that it was him. But the fact of the matter is, it's more than domestic abuse, and sitting in court every day, which has been a phenomenal experience in terms of seeing the process and also seeing the actual evidence, because as you guys know, at the end of the day, this is going to come down to not what we read 2 months ago, not what somebody said on a blog, not what photos surfaced by X, Y, or Z celebrity, but what is presented in court. The prosecution has been methodical, almost with surgical precision, in presenting the stepping stones that they need, according to the defense attorneys that I've talked to who do these RICO sex trafficking cases here in federal court. The defense has been methodical in putting the elements they need. They need to show force. They need to show that she was coerced. That was very clear with Ro. You mentioned the pictures of the beating. She showed pictures of where she was beaten. The gash in her head when she said he shoved her into a bedpost in a hotel room after a freak-off because he didn't like the way he was going. His own defense attorney, Mark Agnafilo, said, yes, Mr. Combs has a high temper and it would get out of control when he would get really angry. But they're building these elements they need. The interstate trafficking and prostitution. The prosecutor, the day before yesterday, on the first day of the stand, and also a couple times yesterday, asked her, these male sex workers, were they flown in? Oh, yes, this one came from LA, this one came from here. So it'll be interesting to see what the defense is going to come up with, because not only now do they just have the abuse and the sexual abuse and this physical abuse.
And that's interesting, you guys, because if these people are being flown in, what does that mean? Think about it. Think about it. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Doing things a little different today. I'm doing a test. I might do the Tory Lanez thing later on today. So let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
These assaults and the trafficking, but they have all these elements for this very serious crime, these very serious crimes that could keep him behind bars for the rest of his life if he's found guilty. Rowan,
it's going to be explosive today. Lisa, thank you for being our eyes and ears in the courtroom. We appreciate it.
Hold on. Let me get to the other clip. Thanks for being here. Let's get to... Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Days that she just spent on the witness stand, testifying against her one-time love, Sean Diddy Combs. But the next 2 days are going to make the last two look like a picnic. She's about to undergo a cross-examination by Puff Daddy's lawyers. And 9 months pregnant or not, it just may seem worse than childbirth. Since she took the stand on Tuesday, she basically has helped the prosecutors lay out a case against P. Diddy that paints him as a brutal domestic abuser with a sexual kink beyond the pale. Yeah, we heard it. We got it. But what she's really done, that's so much more important and so much worse for Diddy, is that she has painted him as a sex trafficker and a man guilty of racketeering, the very things that he's charged with. And if his lawyers don't come out swinging, P. Diddy could spend the rest of his life in lockup. So yeah, the stakes are high in this cross-examination of Cassie. At the heart of her testimony, she was claiming that she was an unwilling participant in Diddy's twisted and demanding freak-offs, sex orgies, where she was being sexed mostly. She said that he forced her to hire the male escorts and fly them to the freak-offs. Very key, because trafficking requires you to, somebody needs to pay, get you across state lines, okay? And that Diddy used his own staff members, she says, to prep the rooms and get the drugs if Diddy didn't get those drugs himself. When she wasn't in the mood or when she wanted out, Cassie says he beat her into submission and wouldn't let her leave. These are all very important things I'm going to get to in just a moment. I'm not just giving you color here. I'm giving you really important building blocks for the prosecution. Cassie said he'd also threatened to release videos of those orgies, to pressure Cassie to stick around. And she said Diddy would...
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip, fair use.
The boss of it all. The director of the freak-offs, where a lot of this illegal stuff was going on, she said. She told the jury, quote, "I feared for my career. I feared for my family. It's just embarrassing. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone." Today in the federal courtroom, she named and identified 13 of those escorts with whom she had sex on video and for Diddy's pleasure, she said. One of those escorts was Jonathan Odie, who happened to be a guest on this show just last night. Odie said he was Diddy's, quote, sex slave as far back as 2018, but that nobody believed him. And to be fair, it may have been because he said it to the police after opening fire at a South Florida golf resort. Yesterday, though, in an exclusive jailhouse interview, Odie repeated his story to News Nation producer Allison Weiner, and he described what a freak-off actually looked like from inside the room.
Angles, sensual atmosphere, lights off. He would sit in a corner in a sofa, watching and immensely. And he'd say, he'd tell her, give me instructions what to do to me. Perform oral sex, rub baby oil. Then he'd tell me rub baby oil, perform oral sex, and then have sex.
How many times did you have sex with Cassie?
Probably like 15 sessions.
And what did you get paid? How much?
It'll be like 800 each time.
Another bombshell today, when Cassie testified that after she and Diddy finally broke up, she says Diddy raped her in 2018 in her own living room. This was around the time she began dating her now husband, Alex Fine. And yes, Mr. Fine was in the courtroom to hear all of it. By now, almost everybody has seen that infamous hotel hallway beating video, right? But today, the court released more of it. And before I show it, I do want to give you a warning. It's quite disturbing. It can be very triggering. So, fair warning. We're going to roll it. We got a picture, basically, of Cassie here. And she eventually, after being knocked and thrown about, she eventually is stumbling down a hallway. I mean, this is just intense, right? This is finally from the U.S. District Court, by the way, not from a TV channel, CNN. So this is important because these are angles we hadn't seen up until now. Again, Cassie had a black eye and a bloody lip. And she said she ended up that way.
Like the video. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. I'm doing a test, you guys. I'm doing a test. I'm actually out and about, but I'm doing a test. So please like the video. Please double tap the screen to hit the like button. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. Most people are watching from a phone, so please double tap the screen to hit the like button. I had to get you guys some content, but I had an important appointment to take care of. So I'm out doing content.
Because she was beaten by Diddy right here in this moment because she had escaped his freak off. She says she fled to her apartment after this and that she took selfies of her bruises, which, by the way, she said she had to cover with makeup 2 days later at a movie premiere. This movie premiere. This is her. She said she was thick with makeup to get rid of the black eye, but she said some of the bruises on her body were still quite visible, especially the ones on her inner thighs, she said. And while the judges ruled that the freak off videos are not going to be seen by the public, today, the jury saw 5 screen grabs of the freak-off videos, and at least one juror, a man, looked away. But here's the thing. Diddy is not charged with rape. Diddy is not charged with domestic abuse or drug offenses. He is charged with sex trafficking and racketeering, violating the RICO Act, which means the feds are trying to prove that he ran a criminal enterprise using his staff, his money, his power to indulge his own appetites at any cost. Let's unpack some of this with my friend Mark Garagos, defense attorney and co-host of the hit podcasts Reasonable Doubt and Two Angry Men. Okay, Garagos, first I have to ask right off the bat, nobody seems to have been able to get this from you. Are you or aren't you a member of Diddy's defense team in any way?
Actually, I thought I was here to talk Menendez, so I'll avoid that question. So next.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you can't answer that question. You are here actually is it okay to talk Diddy?
Did I stun you? My preference is to not mix and match, only because I don't think, Ashley, that I've done anything nationally since the brothers got the news yesterday. So I know how much you've been following their saga, and I really wanted to kind of focus on them. I thought that was their moment, if you will.
I have that planned for you, my dear friend Mark, but it's just, it's a few questions down from the Diddy Biddy. I have to talk Diddy for, can we just have, I want to get some clarity from you because I know you understand this stuff.
Do you know why I love you? I do, and I will tell you, yes, because you never stop. Also because, a lot of times when I'm in court and I say something, even as recently as yesterday, the Menendez case, and the judge sustains an objection, that basically the move is, and then gives you one of the hand movements that's like, move on, you know what I mean? So I'm used to that. I'm trying to give you that.
You're trying to give me that, yes, it's not going to work. It's not going to. I won't ask you because this little nebulous. I don't want to mention whether I'm on Diddy's team or not because everybody's been playing the guessing game. Were you a jury consultant or were you on the team?
Look, I don't hire myself out as a jury consultant.
See, he thinks he's there for some other reason, and she's talking about Diddy, and he's trying to talk about what he's there for. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Please double tap the screen, you guys, to like the video. Please double tap the screen to like the video. Let's continue. Fair use reaction.
Been very upfront about the fact that my daughter is the one who gave the opening statements, and I have known Sean and currently represent Sean in a number of matters and have represented Sean for years. I mean, that's no secret. And I consider him a friend, and I'm not going to abandon a friend. So, I've seen kind of the ups and downs of the last year, and I get it.
Okay, so I'm not a lawyer. This is why I always lean very heavily on you and others to help me navigate through some of the intricacies of these cases. But I've got to be honest, I don't know that I like what I'm seeing out on the TV with a lot of legal analysts who say there's nothing to see here. Because I'll be honest with you, as I've been watching the prosecution's case, I am seeing them lay out a lot of very specific building blocks. And here's where I'm going to show you I've done my research and then ask you if I've made a mistake. For RICO, you got to prove at least 2 predicate acts, right? 2 criminal acts over the course of 10 years. And these are some of the predicate acts that qualify. So 2 out of this list: assault, forced labor, bribery, distribution of controlled substance, extortion, kidnapping, witness tampering, dealing in obscene matter, obstruction of justice, slavery, sex trafficking, drug trafficking. And in so many of the details that I've been hearing, Mark, I'm seeing stuff that matches all this. The bag of money allegedly given to the security guard at the hotel saying, don't say anything, keep this quiet. I mean, that's obstruction of justice. That's bribery. The assault stuff that we're seeing, the black eye, the hotel video, that's it. Well, I got 2 right there. Where am I wrong?
Well, look, I'll take a step back. Everything that you say you can, I believe, could be tethered to or should be tethered to what the evidence is. I don't believe that the way that you've characterized it, and this is part of the problem with federal district court trials, you get kind of a report and it says various things and it ticks off various things. A lot of the nuance and a lot of the exact testimony is not what's being tethered to. If you were to see a transcript, for instance, of something that was said, I will give you an example. I saw a transcript, not in this case, but in another case, where somebody had said about a payment. Was that payment, or was there any investigation going on at that time? And they said, no. What was the payment for? Payment was for something else. That takes you out of an obstruction or anything else. So I don't know what the transcript says. As I freely said to your producer today, I was not in court and I'm still in LA. And absent somebody sitting in the courtroom who actually has taken verbatim notes, it's very difficult to say, it can be horrific. Mind you, the opening statements kind of invited that. You're going to hear stuff. You're going to not like people. You and I have talked about that for years in other kinds of cases, where you'll do an opening statement and you will concede that your clients may be bad people or jerks or mean, but it's not necessarily criminal. And so I think you have to be very careful before you say, this is horrible, this is horrible. Therefore there's a building block.
Oh, listen, horrible schmorrible. There's a lot of stuff that's in there that's gross, and I think Diddy will struggle to ever get a reputation back if he beats this rap, period. But the dangerous stuff that could put him away forever, I feel these were some building blocks. And that at the head of the enterprise, he's using staff members to get these free coughs, which are, dens of illegal activity. He's using staff members to set them up, which is the man directing the illegal activity. All that, to me, screams RICO. Now, I guess it's all up to the corroborating witnesses. If people are going to come in, and it won't just be he said, she said, but if the jury can hear more from others and be convinced. Now, like you said, you wanted to talk Menendez.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Let's continue. Thanks for being here, everyone. Please don't forget to double tap the screen.
And I know you have a hard stop in 3.5 minutes.
I'll finish. Well, one more point, though. Also, it's tough. We haven't gotten across yet. So what I always counsel in these cases, you and I have talked about this.
They're doing the cross-examination today. They're doing the cross-examination with Cassie today. Let's continue. Fair use.
You're usually extremely good at this. You don't jump to conclusions just based on the direct. How many times have you seen in a case, I know that it's virtually every case I'm in, the direct, you walk away, you say, how are they ever going to get over this? And I've talked to jurors who say the same thing. And then they hear the cross and they go, oh my goodness, I really jumped.
Oh, there it is,
so
yeah.
I would counsel against it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
That comes from News Nation. Many people were talking about how will the cross go. I would say that Cassie has been open and honest about her feelings, about them interacting again. Once a situation happened, you got to realize they were on stuff. So if she's sending a message and it's a confusing message, there's no telling if she was still HIGH, if she was still lucid or not. And people really have to think about that. If they were binging for 3 or 4 days when she's sending messages, she still could be on something. And remember, in a lot of these situations, phones are taken. Phones are taken. So who's to say some of the back and forth contacts, messages are literally from her? So let me get to this one. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. Continue to hit the like button. There was some things I had to take care of, but I needed to bring you guys some content. So let's go ahead and play this video and go from there.
You joined us after Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot going on today with Cassie on the stand for the second day. Tell us about what the latest has been. I know you joined us after the lunch break started. Has anything different happened since then? Continuation of some of the testimony. So Cassie Ventura, the star witness for the government, she has been on the stand for the second day, the continuation of her direct examination. And so far, what we've heard from her testimony is very detailed information about what she says Sean Combs was having her participate in. And these are those freak-offs and how he would be providing her with drugs, suggesting that she take the drugs. And then she said she wanted to take the drugs for every single freak-off in order to disassociate with what was taking place. She said on the stand that she hated participating in these freak-offs. So this morning, what we've been seeing so far is this playing of the freak-off. So we cannot see this, but the jurors have a privacy screen on their monitor, so they're able to see some videos as well as some still images that the government has focused on in regard to these freak-offs. For the testimony, because we do not have cameras inside a federal courtroom, we're bringing it to you and giving you some quotes from what's said inside while Cassie has been on the stand. So she has been talking about how she was detailing how Combs would recover after the freak-offs. They used IV fluids, massages, and chef-prepared meals. She also said that she depended on opiates to make her feel numb and added she had an ongoing off and on addiction to some of the drugs. So some of the testimony that she has been providing so far, she was also detailing her declining health as a result of the frequent freak-offs. She had stomach issues as well as constant UTIs. Sometimes she had to participate in the freak-offs while infected. So we've heard this theme while she has been on the stand. She was also talking about how at times when she would be in the middle of her freak-offs, that she might have to vomit, and then Sean Combs would still force her to participate in the freak-offs even though she was very, very ill. Ted and Julia? Kelly, some of this is very...
Like the video. Please double tap the screen, you guys, to hit the like button. Thanks for being here. Good morning, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before and where you're watching from. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Very uncomfortable to listen to, but important information for this jury. And I know we've gotten video, you all out there and our team out there have gotten video of Cassie Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, personal trainer, who has been inside the courthouse, and we understand he may have been limited in being inside of the courtroom for her testimony because the defense may call him. Have you heard anything about this, or what can you tell us about who is inside of the gallery today? Yeah, sure, Julia. So you're taking a look at some of that video now, and this is just an example of how kind of chaotic it can be when certain people are making their way inside the courtroom. I've been upstairs outside the hallway as Mr. Fine has been waiting to get inside.
Okay, they were trying to spare Alex Fine. When they started talking about when Cassie broke things off with Diddy and she started dating Alex Fine, Diddy still wanted to hook up with Cassie, and allegedly in her hotel, he took advantage of her. That's before that, they removed Alex from that, because Cassie was with Alex and Diddy took advantage of Cassie. But then Cassie said after even he took advantage, I don't know how shortly after, they hooked up, and she was like, you know, she was on substances, you guys. That's one thing you got to realize. Let's continue fair use reaction clip. And that's when they removed Alex. Up until most of it, Alex has been in the courtroom protecting his wife, and he should. Let's continue fair use.
The courtroom, he stands there. A lot of people have asked me, well, describe him and what's he doing as he's standing there. He has an entourage around him. He's worn a black t-shirt. He's a personal trainer and has worked as that, and so he is very fit. He has a lot of tattoos all over his body, and he just stands there. He doesn't really say much. He's never really responding. But yes, they have requested that he not be inside the courtroom for some of the testimony. This would be post, I believe it's 2018. So they do not want him inside the courtroom because they may end up calling him as a witness. This is somebody that also knew Sean Combs and had a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie Ventura. And
they may ask him, did he know that him and Diddy and Cassie were hooking up around the same time? They may ask him that after if he has to take the stand. Do you understand? Let's continue fair use reaction clip.
ended up meeting him. They are married now. She's expecting her third child from him, so she's married to him. And so it's been interesting to see him around the courthouse outside as well as inside when I've been waiting to get inside the courtroom myself.
All right, Kelly Craft, on a rainy day in May.
Okay, so that's my morning update. I'm thinking about doing the Tory Lanez situation. There's some things that's happened in regards to Tory Lanez. It's being reported that Kelsey Harris, alleged bodyguard, spoke up and spoke out in regards to the conversations he's heard about what Kelsey had to say. So in regards to the Diddy thing, I will go back live later on today. I just want to put out a video for you guys. I had a good 30 minutes to produce a video. But yeah, I just wanted to go live. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a great morning. But thanks for definitely being here. I will go live. I tried to go live at 9, but I had some things I had to do. And family stuff first, you know what I mean? Yeah, I want to bring you guys content, but you know, I maintain other things and other businesses. So that's why I go when I go, I come when I come. But I did do the Tory Lanez short. Yesterday I did do some shorts in regards to Diddy's children arriving in court. Were you guys surprised that Diddy's children were there for the first 2 or 3 days? Now the sons were there yesterday, and allegedly the girls were not there in regards to Cassie's testimony. And then she's going to have to speak again today. They're going to ask her questions. They're going to redirect, whatever the word is. They're going to ask her questions. So Diddy's side is going to question Cassie. And the biggest thing is, I think Cassie did really well. I think she told, I did this, I did that. We spent time together. Yes, when this happened, we reconnected again. She was open. See, this is the one thing people have to be very careful of. And I'm going to be very clear about this. People don't know which tapes they have. So everybody better get on that stand and be open and honest, because you don't know what they have. People don't know. I'm sure Diddy's side knows, and the attorneys may know, because I think you have to present everything in court prior to, right? But people have to be very careful of what they state on that stand. And I don't know if federally, if you're in that courthouse, if you can plead the fifth and not want to say. And see, that's the other thing too. Who else is going to have to testify? Which friends are going to have to testify? His staff, his management, bodyguards, drivers, chefs, cooks. And then if you guys are just not coming in, allegedly there was a lawsuit that was mentioned yesterday. There was another lawsuit mentioned yesterday of what a young girl or a woman alleged experience. So there's a lot going on. And even though I'm a busy person, I did bring you guys some content this morning. So I hope y'all appreciate it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And like I said in other videos, he's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. A judge and a jury is going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing on his side. I can't decide that. I'm just bringing you guys content. There's a lot of media stuff that's going on, and I have been trying to produce shorts for you guys so you guys can understand outside of the Diddy stuff, because what a lot of us don't want to do is just make Diddy content, and then when the trial is over, you know, we're having problems with, you know, our algorithm. So copyright disclaimer: under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. You guys, please let me know what you think about the trial already. I think people are trying to make decisions, and the trial is not over. This is going to be going on for a while. That's like trying to understand what happened in regards to the RICO case with Young Thug. Every day was somewhat different. You know what I'm saying? The conversations. So there's going to be more testimonies. People need to be patient. There's going to be more testimonies. There's not going to be a decision made. I don't know why they're saying, well, what do you think? What do you think? People are going to have to wait and be patient. Other people will testify. The biggest thing is when someone's on substances, decision making is questionable. She has been free of substances for a while, so that's good that she's free of substances. But Cassie, even after him, it took her a while to get off that kind of stuff. But it's sad that she went through it. It's sad that, you know, she struggled with things. It's sad that they thought something had transpired with her. And even when they thought something transpired with her, they then made her do another event and get in entanglement. So it's sad that that was the focus of what was expected of her, and not really focus on music. And we're hearing alleged she has a lot of music out there that may or may not be released because he's her producer. You know what I mean? She's still probably, I don't know, she's still contract under them. You know what I mean? So that even some of the producers that assist in writing for Cassie said that time was wasted because she was working with a lot of great artists as well. So she was hopeful. She was hopeful of a career of music, but they kept her busy with this other stuff. So I appreciate everyone for being here. Thanks for tuning in. I will go live. I'll try and do the Tory Lanez more in depth of the Tory Lanez situation. That's interesting. Prayers for Tory and his family. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the media, you guys. There's a lot going on. So continue to let me know how you guys feel and what's going on, what's transpiring. I appreciate you all for tuning in, for being here. I'm trying to see anybody's comments. Yeah, but I thank you guys. Yeah, you got to realize when people are on stuff, you've seen people out and about, and you could tell they're on something. Do they make good decisions? Hello? And that's the one thing people have to really realize. They're saying the text messages she sent, saying Happy Father's Day. She still could have been on substances from the day before, sending messages on, are we meeting again? Are we connecting again? Are we going to have another entanglement? She still could have been on something, you guys. I don't understand why people aren't thinking about that. And if she was groomed to do certain things, her decision made, and she was younger than him. You understand what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, I wouldn't wish this on anybody else's daughter, mother, or niece. I would not wish this on anybody's mother, daughter, or niece. There are things that men and women go through. So we got to be, you know, cautious on. Everybody needs to be in a healthy and safe relationship. So I appreciate you guys. So continue to rock with me, tune in with me, focus on healthy, safe relationships, be around people that are loving, kind, and respectful, and they love you and appreciate you. You know what I mean? So thanks for being here, everyone. I will try and go live. I'm going to try and do the Tory Lanez thing today, or I'll do it tomorrow, just depending on when I arrive back where I need to be. So thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone, there's about 214 in the building. Can I please get 214 people to double tap that screen to hit the like? Please double tap that screen to hit the like button. YouTube makes it really easy. If you're watching from a phone, just double tap that screen. You'll see the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, you guys. This week, we had a lot of people subscribe. And like I said, months ago, 8-9 months ago, I had 3,000 subscribers. We're almost at 36K. I appreciate you guys. You like the fast content. You don't like when people just, I don't drag stuff on. I give the information to you. I let you know what's happening in court that day. I let you know what the expectation is. That's why people tune into my channel, and I appreciate you guys. We go extremely fast over here. We really do. We go fast, and we bring the content. And a lot of times, I will note where the information is coming from. It'll kind of tell where the information is coming from. I get a lot of it from the news, and at night, I'm listening to content creators that are in New York in the courtrooms, whether they're in the actual courtroom or if they're in the overflow. But there's two guys I listen to. They're bringing great content. I'm gonna say their names because they deserve it. I listen to Armand at night. He's bringing great content, and I listen to Make It Make Sense. Make It Make Sense, and Armand is doing an amazing job. So I appreciate their content and their time. I really do. But other than that, I normally try not to mention people on my channel. But I think Armand and Mims are doing a great job because they're talking about actually what's happening in court. I listen to them to try and bring it to you guys. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you for being here. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Everyone, be blessed. Have a blessed day. Goodbye. How do I? Thank you, everyone. Be blessed. I'll go live probably in another 2 or 3 hours. Thank you.